Hey guys, CryptIdiots here.
CryptIdiots.
I'm Bobby,
I'm Fletcher.
as you know, and today we're going to be talking about some interesting things, and our cryptid of the week is going to be the Rougarou.
The Rougarou.
So I'll let Fletcher start it off here.
Yeah, so the Rougarou is this werewolf-like cryptid that originated in the 16th century, and it was basically started when there's this hunter in a forest in this province in France, and he was hunting these wolves, and he shot one of them, and he just knew exactly where he shot it, knew the exact area on the body where he shot it, and the wolf got away, and he just he couldn't find it anymore, so he went to his house.
This guy, Michael
Verdun, he knocked on the door, and this hunter opened the door for him, and he realized that this guy had a wound in the exact same location that this wolf was shot, and that resounded with him, and he was like, wait, this guy's a werewolf.
Yeah. So they took him in and questioned him, and he confessed to being a werewolf, and he had two other people who also claimed to be werewolves, and they would go into the woods and hunt kids, and they also claimed that they drank an oil, or
they just lathered themselves in oil. Got oiled up.
Apparently they oiled up, and apparently that's how they became the Rougarous.
Yeah.
And they said they also attended some witch meetup.
Yeah, some black mass just in the middle of the forest, and it just doesn't make sense why he would throw his friends under the bus that.
And just, I don't know, lie about it.
Yeah. He's not what?
Do I believe it or do I not believe it?
Because he sparked this whole hysteria in the town where people were like, werewolves are real.
It's just kind of random.
Isn't made up. I guess they just didn't know about lying back then.
Well, continuing that, people started just picking up homeless people that they would just see in the woods, or just look like they were acting weird.
People acting weird.
And they'd trial them, and when they just were like, oh, you're definitely a Rougarou because you're a homeless guy, they would burn them at the stake. So that's always nice to hear.
Almost every trial ended in a burning because people were so what's the evidence? Oh, this guy's acting weird.
Oh, he's got to be a Rougarou.
He's got to be.
What, they just claim that they just kept eating babies with no evidence at all?
Well, there's that other guy. He claims that he had killed 3 children and was just eating their raw flesh, and he said he was going to bring some meat home for his family.
That's great.
Okay, and that's just making the story even more
complicated.
Yeah.
It's just it's such a random one to think about. You just admit, yeah, I kill people, I'm a Rougarou, I'm a shapeshifter, I can turn into wolves. And just throw your friends under the bus like that for no reason at all.
Well, that's kind of like mental illness in the back in the day. People would just, when you're acting weird, that probably meant that you were mentally ill. So they were just burning all these mentally ill people. It's terrible.
It sounds like the life, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, that was pretty common though, right? I mean, a lot of burnings were happening,
Similar to the witch trials. It's just a bunch of burnings, people acting weird, or just people's crops not growing. They would blame it on witches. Or just that stuff. So another thing with the Rougarou, when people's cattle just died without explanation, they would just go out looking for people acting weird and just hold a trial for them right then and there, and just burn them at the stake the next day.
Anyone closest to them that they could find, that was a Rougarou.
They're like, my cow died last night. Dang it, this guy's acting weird. Let's burn him.
It's that homeless dude sitting in the corner. Has to be.
It's that guy.
He's like,
what? Next thing he knows, he's just strapped to a pillar. He's like,
well, that's the Rougarou for you guys. I mean, that's a fun story to think about. So we'll leave you guys with that information. And so for today's main topic, we're talking about the deep ocean. Ooh,
deep.
You know, the Mariana Trench.
Yep.
So we'll just get started with that. You know, the ocean, I believe, is scarier than space. Like, I mean, you can't see anything down there. It's just, you don't know what's down there. There's always some sort of creature just lurking behind.
I mean, we know more about the surface of Mars than we do our oceans. And that's nobody wants to go down there.
No. And all those, like, mysteries that come with it, I think that are scarier than all the mysteries in space. Like, so we got the bloop to start off with. The bloop was a sound that a submarine picked up?
Yeah, it was like a sonar, and they picked it up, and it was like the loudest sound they've ever picked up, like even louder than a sperm whale.
Yeah.
Which is the loudest animal in the animal kingdom.
And, you know, they're like, what is this thing? What made that noise? And, you know, they chalked it up to be an iceberg.
Iceberg breaking and cracking into the ocean.
But they're still not even 100% sure that's it. Because, like, there's been plenty of icebergs crashing and breaking apart. And, like, we still haven't heard a noise as big as that from that.
Yeah, you'd think that we would be picking up icebergs breaking, like, all the time.
It's just, like, a little weird to me. Like, I don't know if I believe it's some sort of massive sea creature down there, you know? But, like, at the same time, it's like, could it be? I mean, it's an interesting thing to think about.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that's one of the scariest theories out there. Especially with all those pictures you see when you look up. It's like that basking shark looking monster. Oh,
yeah. It looks like the Alaskan bullworm from SpongeBob.
That's a good way to put it. So now we're going to be talking about whale todgers. You know, everyone's favorite, right?
Yep.
We all love that. So we all know the classic stories of sailors seeing sea monsters in the oceans.
Yep. The Loch Ness Monster-esque
sea serpents, and you know, just creatures like that. Well, there's pretty good evidence that it was just some whales sticking their todgers out of the water.
Yeah. Why do they do that?
I don't know. There has to be some sort of reason to that. But, like, it's like, oh, the whole world can see my todger now. That's great.
Yeah.
I think that's really funny. Imagine being like a sailor out, or like a pirate, and you just see that and you're like, oh my god, it's gonna kill us.
It's the Kraken.
And it's just a whale horny. And I really think that's really funny to me.
I wonder if they ever tried shooting cannonballs at it or something.
Just blow it off.
Yeah. There's gotta be like Blackbeard probably saw it and was like, bro, we need to tame that beast.
Oh my god.
Yo.
And like, I just love the depictions of like all those sea serpents that are just drawn everywhere, and like they're like a big long snake going through the water. Nope, just a whale dodger.
Whale dodger. And yeah, just like the elaborate just pictures that people drew back in the day. It was just like tentacles wrapping around a ship and stuff, and like nobody really had those experiences. They would just be like, oh, this might happen if we provoke them.
And that kind of leads into like the colossal squid and the giant squid. And those, you know, if you really think about it, I did some research on them. They're scary, but like compared to a sperm whale, and that's like their natural predator is a sperm whale. Like they're not as scary. Of course, they have suction cups and they wrap around, and that's why when you see sperm whale pictures, you see so many scars on them. it's because of the squids, and they have those huge beaks, and then their eyeballs, aren't they the size of like dinner plates or something?
Basketballs, yeah.
Yeah, and that's just crazy to me to think about how big that thing really is. If its eye is as big as a basketball, and I don't think we've ever actually caught sperm whales fighting squids because they're so far down in the ocean. We're not able to do that.
There's no light down there to see it either.
No, and that just is like so scary. Like sperm whales, loudest animal in the animal kingdom.
Yep.
If you're in the water, they can kill you with their sounds. And we still haven't even we found like one colossal squid, I think.
Yeah, and it was a dead one, and I think it rose to the surface.
And I don't think it was fully grown yet either.
And it was huge.
It was big. That thing was huge.
Yeah.
And you gotta imagine that thing can fight sperm whales.
Oh yeah.
The sperm whales are huge, and they have those teeth. And of course, the sperm whale usually always comes out on top because what's a squid gonna do to a bowl? Basically,
It's gonna peck it with its beak.
It's like a child trying to charge at a bowl. See who wins.
Not a good matchup.
No.
I mean, you got tentacles and a beak, and that's it. And you got a big whale with these huge razor sharp teeth that are like 8 inches long each.
But they're also so friendly too, sperm whales.
Yeah.
Like with humans, they don't really care. They just float around them and do whatever.
Well, it's like they don't see us as a threat. We're just these little dudes swimming around.
I'd love to swim with a sperm whale. That'd be sick. And it's just like, what's in the deep ocean? Like, what's down there that we can't figure out? And everyone's gonna jump and say, "Oh, there's definitely a megalodon swimming down there." But if you think about it, megalodons went extinct because of climate change.
Yeah.
Like, they can't handle any sort of cold water. They need to be in warm tropical water. And they died out because they had no food source.
Yeah.
Of course. Everything got smaller.
In the movie The Meg is just so unrealistic. You got the climate underneath, like the Mariana Trench. And it was like warmer water for some reason.
That wouldn't even make sense at all.
No.
Well, that'd be kind of a cool theory, though, to think about it.
Yeah, but it might be plausible because of geothermal vents. I mean, yeah, but still, it would probably be blind down there.
I watched that second one. In that second movie, everyone said it was better. It was not better. That movie was trash. Like, be honest, if you say that movie is good, you need to figure out your taste in movies.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just imagine just some sort of giant monster just lurking down there. But then they're like, it's impossible for that thing to exist because of gravity, and it needs to eat so much.
Yeah.
But just let us believe, right?
Yeah, come on, man. We need something.
I don't want to just explore the whole ocean one day to just figure out, oh, there's just another species of shrimp found down there.
I mean, well, there's got to be something. Oh, I don't know. Because, the colossal squid. I mean, that's a huge creature, and that lives far down.
Of course.
There's got to be something.
If there's something that big growing down there already, I feel like there's something else, right?
Weren't there, sperm whales that would come up with, huge gashes in their sides? Not ones that you would see from a colossal squid.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't hear
big
about
scratches, huge, bite marks sometimes.
Holy crap.
Yeah, so whatever's down there, it's gotta be something. I hope it's a megalodon.
Even though it doesn't make, unless they evolved to live in cold, dark water, I mean, there's no chance.
I mean, they would also have to adapt to the high pressure, and that's kind of hard to do if you're a megalodon.
It's like in the Mariana Trench, that's the main spot I want to figure out. What is down there?
Yeah, screw going to Mars. Let's just explore our oceans. It's our planet.
We're on it right now.
Yeah.
Why not just figure out what's on our planet instead of going to new ones?
Stop making the Todger-shaped spaceships. And let's go down in the deep. Let's go down.
And it's deeper than Mount Everest is tall. It's 7 miles and the Mount Everest is 5.5 miles.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Which is crazy to me. And then have you heard of there's this pyramid that's in the water. it's like steps too. It's like a pyramid with steps just underwater, and like no one knows how it got there because it's kind of just in the middle of the ocean, just a pyramid.
Atlantis.
Possibly. And it's like submerged underwater, and there's like some statues around it, I'm pretty sure.
Oh.
And like it doesn't make sense. Like scientists can't figure out how it got there.
And it's really deep.
It's not really deep. Like I think like part of the top is sticking out of the water maybe.
Okay.
But like I mean it's pretty far out there in the ocean. Like but like because it's huge, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, who's building a pyramid in the ocean? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Well, I'm wondering if it's maybe before the water got to that level, which that would mean that was like a ton, like
erosion
eons
take
away.
Place for that. And then how'd the pyramid stay in perfect intact shape?
Well, I don't know.
See, that's...
With erosion, aliens.
Bro.
They're real, man. You gotta believe.
I'm not gonna believe till I see it. That Mexico statue, the one that Mexico made, is not fooling me.
No.
that was a beautiful sculpture, wasn't it?
Sure was.
Yeah. And now we talk about the Kraken. Ooh. I mean, the Kraken. What else is there to explain about it? It's just another giant squid.
What were those pirates seeing out there?
That they claimed attacked the boat.
Squids? No. Like, you got squids from the surface level. They're pretty small. Like, they're not as big as like a Spanish galleon. Mm-hmm. No, they're pretty small. And for them to like come back with these stories like, oh, they wrapped their like tentacles around my boat and they're like pulling it apart, and then we like got it away somehow. Unless they're just making up stuff.
But then it's like, what's the point of making it up?
Yeah, especially if you're a pirate. Like, have some more self-respect.
And why would you want all that attention drawn to you if you're a pirate?
Yeah.
Since they're outlawed at that time.
No, just maybe a good story to tell to your pirate buddies. The Kraken attacked my boat. Nearly lost my Dodger.
Yeah, no. I think the ocean is just terrifying. Like, you're just swimming out. Just imagine you're swimming out in the middle of the ocean, and like something just grabs you and drags you down.
I mean, you'll look down if you're like in the middle of the ocean. You'll look down, and it's just blue. Like, you can't see anything. And that is just. There is so much to the ocean.
And that fear of like giant things being like underwater.
Oh wow, yeah.
I have that fear.
You do.
That scares me so much. Like a giant ship just sunken underwater. Oh my god. It's just like it just doesn't belong in there.
No.
That's what's so scary about it, and that's like the main like that thing just does not belong in the water at all. It's like what's living in there too?
Yeah.
Hey, and thalassophobia, the fear of just deep dark water. I think I have that too.
I hate the ocean.
I don't mind like swimming in lakes. I don't mind going to the beach and swimming pretty far out.
Yeah.
Just not to the point where I can't see below me.
No.
That's when I start to freak out. Like maybe I'd go diving one day.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that'd be kind of fun. Like my mom went diving with manta rays at night.
Oh.
Like really late at night, and manta rays are huge. Those things are ginormous. Yeah. And they were feeding right next to her while she was swimming with them.
That's really cool.
So someone's gonna come up and hunt them, and then you're gonna be the main target.
Yeah, my parents went snorkeling, and they saw a barracuda. They had to get out of there.
I remember my sister got chased by a barracuda once in the water because she had something shiny on, and they love the shiny stuff. Yeah, they like the
shiny stuff.
So she got chased by a barracuda, and those things are evil. Those teeth are huge on them.
Yeah, they killed Nemo's family.
Hey, screw Nemo. Wouldn't Marlin become a dad technically? Or I mean a mom?
Yeah. Wait, yeah, isn't that how clownfish work? They switch sexes.
If their mate dies or something like that. So really it's his mom at the same time.
Yeah. Well, Marlin. No longer a Todger man.
And then, what was I thinking of? Oh, one cryptid that's found in the ocean is the ningen. I don't know how to really pronounce it very well. And it's like I guess you can call it a mermaid. And it's in a Japanese culture. And it's just like a white, like an all-white humanoid fish man. But like it doesn't have eyes in like every picture I see it in, and it just has like a long mouth. And it has, usually it's like people say who've seen it. It has like five fingers, so it has hands and legs, which makes it even scarier. Of course, I don't want to see that thing coming at me. And it inhabits the southern part of the world, the Southern Ocean, and I don't know, like. Imagine you're just sailing and you just see a humanoid fish man just laying on the bottom of the ocean, just staring up at you.
You'd like get the life preserver and you'd be like, oh, what? should we save that guy? Is that a guy? Like, what is this guy doing at the bottom of the ocean? He's bottom feeding?
And then you take a close. He's filter feeding. You take a closer look, and it's just a white humanoid man just staring up at you, even if it has eyes, of course.
Yeah.
Then we jump to sharks. Ooh, sharks.
Sharks. There's tons of them.
We love sharks, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're said to not even be, aggressive as people think, unless it's a bull or tiger shark, of course.
Yeah.
And
I mean, they've hardly even evolved. They haven't like changed a whole lot.
They don't need to.
They're just peak animals.
Same with alligators and crocodiles.
Yeah.
Too. Besides, they just got smaller. Yeah. And I love great white sharks. I think they're great.
Yeah.
They're great.
Uh-huh.
They're peaceful, except when they're not, which is kind of rare. I think. Yeah. They're said that iguanas are more aggressive than great white sharks are. Which I can believe. Iguanas are mean. And then, orcas just come around and just bully great white sharks for no reason.
Yeah, they're just a bunch of...
And they eat their liver. They don't even eat the whole thing. They just mess with the shark, push it around, and then they just eat the liver out of it.
What?
And leave it to die.
They just, suck the liver out somehow?
Yep.
What? That's
orcas
weird.
are mean.
Yeah.
Orcas are, the meanest animal. If you think about it, they know what they're doing. There's never been a case in the wild of an orca attacking a human. Only in SeaWorld, which makes sense. I mean, SeaWorld sucks.
Yeah.
And have you seen those videos of orcas flipping seals out of the air?
Oh yeah, they're just
they don't even eat them sometimes. They just like to smack them out of the air.
They just got bored one day and they're like, "You want to go flip some seals?" Tossing them.
And they do that to dolphins too.
Oh my god.
But to be honest, I really don't like dolphins either.
Yeah.
I mean, not every species of dolphin is evil, but the bottlenose, they do some questionable things to the female dolphins.
Yeah.
And they also kill the babies just for no reason at all. And they also do some unspeakable things to humans too. And there is a whole cave that dolphins would just bring humans down and do heinous things to them and then kill them. And they found a bunch of skeletons just in that cave from dolphins.
Oh, what?
Yep.
It's horrible.
And they also bully pufferfish for no reason.
Oh yeah, to get high off
of them. And that usually stresses them out and kills them.
Yeah.
But, orcas and dolphins are just evil.
They're really smart, but they're too smart.
I think we don't give them enough credit, and we really don't know how smart these animals are.
Yeah. I think there's a line of being an animal, and if you're too smart, then you'll start to get ideas that are just become evil.
I don't know. I'd be terrified of an orca. I'd be more scared of an orca swimming up to me than a great white shark.
Well, I mean, they're nicknamed killer whales, so that's
for a reason, right?
Yeah, they kill.
And I just love sharks. Like, you got the basking shark. If you look that up, I mean, you're probably gonna get terrified at what that thing looks like.
But they're so peaceful, though.
They're filter feeders, which means they just eat plankton and stuff that just goes into their mouth.
I think there's a diver who was like swimming one time and he got caught in its mouth, in one of the basking shark's mouths, and he got spat out, of course. But
that happened with a guy who was lobster fishing, but not with a basking shark, with a whale, a humpback whale. But people don't realize that humpback whales, they're also filter feeders, but their throats are like 2 inches wide. Yeah. So like, no human can fit down a whale. So this guy was just collecting lobsters, and just everything around him just went black. He was like,
thought it was like the end of the world. I bet. Oh my god.
I mean, I'd probably start crying, to be honest. Like, what are you gonna do in that situation?
I mean, you're in the ocean and that happens, and you don't know what the hell's going on.
And then you just got spat out. You got moved around a bit in there. And then the whale was like, huh? Ew.
That doesn't belong in there.
And then that goes with whale sharks too. I mean, whale sharks are funny looking guys. They always have those smiles on their face, which I think are really funny, which are also filter feeders. And they don't really do much. No. They just kind of sit there. But I mean, they'll attack humans if you make them mad. Yeah. You don't want the largest shark mad at you.
You got goblin sharks.
We don't talk about goblin sharks.
I mean, they're just so creepy, and they unhinge their jaw like that to just launch at the freaking
I love those meme edits of goblin sharks where they're unhinging their jaws at things. It's like a scarier version of a snake. Like how they can unhinge their jaws.
But snakes, they do it while they're like eating something. Yeah.
And these dudes just attack with it.
Yeah. The ranged attack. It's so weird. How do they adapt for that?
Wait, what's the reason to adapt to that?
I don't know.
Is there really a reason?
Just to look cool.
I love the saw shark. I want to know what that thing does. Like, does it actually like use it to hunt? I mean,
just for mates, maybe. Just if you have a bigger saw, you
get bigger saw. But like, why would you evolve to that just to have a nose like that, just to look pretty?
I don't know. They might dig with it. I think I was reading somewhere that they like dig nests for it, and they like have eggs laid in those. But I don't know.
I mean, that makes more sense, I guess. I mean,
still, are they considered teeth along the sides?
Yeah. I think so.
Because narwhals are another creature that are just insane because they have that. It's not a tusk. Yeah, it's just one big tooth that spirals out of their face.
Yeah, but then they also have a mouth, so it's like doesn't make sense at all. And where that thing's growing from.
I think it grows like in their gum, and then it like shoots out of their. Yeah, it's weird animals.
Narwhals are just weird animals, but they're cool. They chill.
They chill.
But their noses aren't really meant for doing anything, really, or their tooth.
Well, no. Well, they if there's like ice above them, they'll poke up. That's really cool to see.
Aren't they pretty brittle though?
I'd have to imagine so. Well, I think it's like the same material as human teeth, so maybe you can't do a whole lot with them.
Because it's still a mammal.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Going back to great white sharks, like they're not really evil and they don't really try to hurt you, but like the stories of people who do get eaten by sharks or great whites, that's a whole different story because that's terrifying to think about. I remember hearing a story about a guy who was out on the beach with his wife and his kids, and him and his wife decided to go surfing, and he looked over and his wife was just gone, and he looked out into the ocean and he just sees this great white with his wife's head in its mouth. Jeez. I think like decapitated too.
Wow.
Just eating the whole body. And the kids were watching too. And they were, I think they had to kill the shark to be able to retrieve the body.
Yeah.
Because it just kept coming back up just to eat it. And
I think there's just some animals that are like mentally ill or something.
Oh, like the Rougarou.
Like the Rougarou, yeah. They're acting weird, and then they're just, I don't know. I think people need to study like animal psychology to figure out why these sharks just attack people for no reason, and why it's like so rare.
Well, I was watching a video the other day, and it was about like the top like deadliest predators that ever existed. Not like the species, just like the single animal.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like one was like a jaguar, I'm pretty sure, that just hunted humans only, and I think it had around like 50 deaths or 80.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason it wasn't eating its normal prey is because it had porcupine quills stuck in its paws.
Oh.
So it couldn't hunt. And then there's another one where it's like a tigress, deadliest animal to ever exist. I think it had around 800 deaths in its career. And when this hunter who just volunteered to go kill it was like, yeah, I'll just do it to help you guys out, shot it, it charged at him, shot it again, killed it, that easy. Found out that its jaw was broken the whole time.
Oh.
So it couldn't hunt. So like, that just makes me think, are these great whites like hurt or something?
Maybe.
Or are they just like actually evil animals?
I think there's definitely something wrong with them. We just haven't figured out, because there's just been like a ton of sharks in history that have like attacked people for no reason.
Like the story Jaws was based off of?
Yeah.
I don't really know that story too much.
Mm-hmm.
Just like that a shark got into fresh water, into that river,
mm-hmm.
and there's just some attacks.
I mean, Jaws was really the movie that commercialized fear of sharks. Like, people did not want to go swimming in the oceans after that movie was released.
I mean, honestly though, I'd still be scared of sharks, to be honest.
Yeah.
If I saw one. I love them, but I'm still terrified of like great whites and stuff. Those things are way bigger than you think. If you see them.
Yeah.
Like in person. Like, I love little like lemon sharks and things like that, but like great whites, I don't know if I could ever swim by one.
Yeah, great whites, just a huge shark. Like, think megalodon, but a little smaller. No, megalodons were huge.
Megalodons were huge. But
you see like, people standing in their jaws, like in museums. Those things just huge.
And they had the strongest bite force out of any animal to ever live.
Yeah.
And they're crazy because they'd hunt whales, and whales are huge already.
Yeah.
And I don't know the debate of who would win, a mosasaurus or a megalodon.
I think a megalodon could take him.
I think a mosasaur, because it's more agile, and like it's like, I don't even know. You know what?
Well, we don't know.
To each their own, right?
Yeah, because okay, so we look at like fossils, right? Mm-hmm. And we try and piece them together, like what they would look like if they had meat on them. But those depictions, they aren't accurate at all.
No.
Because we look at, say, like a hippo skull, mm-hmm. and there's actually a book on it where this guy took just like skulls, and he would make depictions of what he would think people would think if they were like fossils, if they just put meat on it, and see what they would look like. And they look like just dinosaurs. Basically, like a hippo looked like a dinosaur because it has those like teeth jutting out and those tusks. Yeah. And people just think that if they put a layer of skin over the bone, that's what it looks like. And you have like elephant skulls. They have that big like where the trunk goes. Mm-hmm. Right? I think he did one where it was that was an eye hole or something.
And people thought it was a cyclops.
Yeah.
Whenever they saw that. So I think that's where the theory started. Yeah, you can't really tell. Like, it's like the Spinosaurus situation. The Spinosaurus is constantly being changed into like a different dinosaur every month.
Yeah.
And now it doesn't even look like any dinosaur that I'd be scared of ever.
No, it's so goofy looking.
Yeah,
like,
they ruined
like, hunched over.
And it's like walks on all fours.
Yeah, it's not intimidating at all.
No. So for our ending topic, we're gonna be reading off a story of this guy, Harrison O'Keefe. He was a guy who was just on a ship, and it was his job. I forgot. I think he just like cooked and stuff, and his ship capsized and sunk, and he survived in an air pocket for 3 days, 30 meters under the ocean, and it goes like this. So in 2013, Harrison O'Keefe became an accidental aquanaut when he survived more than 60 hours at the bottom of the ocean by breathing through an air pocket. And in 2013, the 29-year-old Nigerian cook was working on board a tugboat when it capsized in heavy seas. The 12-man crew was there to stabilize an oil tanker at a platform in the Atlantic Ocean. They were about 32 kilometers off the Nigerian coast at the time of the incident. The ship eventually settled 30 meters down on the seabed, upside down. Everyone drowned except O'Keefe. It was around, and this is him saying this, it was around 5 a.m., and I was on the toilet when the vessel just started going down. The speed was so fast. O'Keefe said later.
Imagine being on the toilet in there. That's like the worst place to be. That'd be the worst.
Oh.
Oh, and it's like sloshing back up at you. Oh no.
That'd be. I think more would come out.
Yeah.
If that happened to me. He goes, in pitch dark, he managed to grope his way. Why'd they use that word?
Yep.
From the toilet into another room, which had enough air to keep him alive. There he rigged a simple platform to keep his body partially above water and delay hypothermia. There in the dark, as the horror of his predicament began to sink in, O'Keefe could do little but pray. And this is him saying this. All around me was just black and noisy. I was crying and calling on Jesus to rescue me. I prayed so hard. I was so hungry and thirsty and cold, and I was just praying to see some kind of light. He was wearing just his underpants, stuck in an air bubble, alone and partly immersed in cool water. After almost 2.5 days, seemingly beyond help at the bottom of the ocean, O'Keefe's prayers were answered when he spotted a light. A team of South African divers had come to inspect the vessel and retrieve the bodies. O'Keefe gently reached his hand out to touch a diver's arm, so as not to spook him. O'Keefe then withdrew his arm and waved. A recovery camera caught the diver's shocked reaction at seeing a man alive. It was as if he'd seen a ghost. And that was just kind of how he was saved. But they left out the part where this dude had to hear his crewmates' bodies get eaten by sharks all around him. Like, you know, imagine just sitting there and you just hear sharks eating your friends.
What, he was down there for 30 days?
3.
Oh, 3.
Did I say 30?
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
My bad. 3 days and you just hear your friends getting eaten.
He probably got 0 sleep. There's no way you can sleep in that.
Think of his mental stability after that.
No, you definitely have PTSD.
Mm-hmm. It's just like what we were talking about, the mentally ill people. Now he's a Rougarou.
Yeah.
I think that story is just incredible, though. That he was able to survive that long.
And that diver was probably like actually scared. He was probably like thought a body was touching him.
My braids would definitely be full after that.
Yeah. Wetsuit is full.
Like, it's pretty cool though. Like, that's like a miracle, honestly. Like, R.I.P. to the 12 other crewmates who were, of course, lost to the sea. But at least we got O'Keefe still alive and kicking.
Yeah.
Well, with that being said, that's another episode.
Like it's time to sign off
from the CryptIdiots.
CryptIdiots.
Thanks, guys. Tune in for the next episode, and this one will be posted at Wednesday, 8 p.m. Central.
Yep.
Like always. Got it?
Yeah.